If anyone still wasn't convinced whether or not to install the program, he or she could visit the program's website, which looked very professional. As you can see in the slide, the website provided information about previous versions of the program and new viruses it managed to discover. When the program was installed, it was only the beginning of the troubles. Up to this moment, the attackers managed to convince the victim to install the program on his or her computer. The program uninstalled the victim's antivirus software. This alone was already a success for the attackers, but in this situation, they were after money. The goal of the second phase of the attack was to convince the user to register the program. It's harder to convince the user to do that than to convince him or her to merely install the software. We are all still easily tricked into opening every program downloaded from the internet. If you don't have to register it or pay for it, it won't be a problem. This is, of course, wrong, but such an attitude persists. So it took some effort to make the user pay for the program. An alien program installed on a user's computer can basically allow the attacker to remotely control its operating system. XP Antivirus was programmed to start on system startup and to always find lots of viruses. Through an Internet Explorer plugin, the program monitored the user's internet activities. On random websites, XP Antivirus regularly warned users that someone may be tracking their data. Clicking on a green button that promised solving the problem redirected the user to the program's registration website. There's a screensaver that imitates the Windows blue screen error. It's also called stop error. It was created by Mark Russinovich, who's a security expert at Microsoft. Security companies that examined XP Antivirus have found Russinovich's surname there because the program used his screensaver. If you left your computer on for a while, you would return to find an error screen. In reality, it was the screensaver, but it gave the impression that the computer was infected by viruses. To hide the fact that it was only a screensaver, the program hid the screensaver card from the control panel and from the display settings. Moreover, the program constantly displayed warnings telling the user that the computer was still at risk. These warnings were also displayed on the system taskbar. In the slide above, you can see two versions of Windows XP Security Center. The one on the left is real, the one on the right is fabricated by XP Antivirus. The program created shortcuts to the fake Security Center in the control panel and the Start menu. The most visible difference between the windows is that there is only one button on the bar instead of three. Looking closer, we can see that the main difference concerns the section Virus Protection. The picture on the left shows that the system can't find any virus protection software. The one on the right displays a message that Windows has detected an unregistered version of XP Antivirus, and it recommends to register it. A system message seems trustworthy. Clicking the Recommendations button took the user to the XP Antivirus registration website. Many people went to that site because they couldn't use their computers anymore. Messages generated by the program were very intrusive. My friends often called me to help them with those windows that would constantly pop up, take up half the screen, and couldn't be closed. Many people paid just to get rid of the problem. This is one of the manipulation techniques we've discussed. The registration fee was set at only about $40. Please note that the registration website didn't use a secure connection. You can see only the HTTP protocol in the header field. Even back in those days, very few websites used unsecured connections when requesting a credit card number. To obtain a certificate needed for secure connections, the creators of XP Antivirus would have had to disclose their true identities. This was something they wanted to avoid. After the registration process, it turned out that $39 wasn't the only fee that needed to be paid. Additional payments ranged from $80 to $400. At least a few people paid $39, and the money went to bank accounts in Eastern Europe. There were more programs such as XP Antivirus at that time. Because of the wide-scale success of the program, few other firms decided to seize the opportunity and created their own versions. You can see another such program on the slide. It's called Anti-Spyware Master. XP Antivirus was being regularly developed for the next 6 months. No one knows how much profit it brought to its creators. It certainly was much more profitable than creating databases or such software. Thank you for your attention.